Doing research for her original documentary 5 years ago, Dr. Delaney Rustin quickly discovered that stress, clinical depression, and anxiety in kids and teens have been increasing since 2011.
And it actually hit home when my daughter was undergoing long-term depression. And it really caught me off guard. Even as a physician, I didn't have the skills to help her.
And she's been really struggling emotionally.
She addressed this in her second film, Screenagers, the next chapter, uncovering skills for stress resilience, which coincidentally came out just a few months before all of us headed inside for even more screens during lockdowns.
Teens who are so often, if they're feeling bad, they go to screens to kind of numb out, and how that often makes them feel worse.
Dr. Rustin says the list of things that can make our teens feel bad is only growing.
They can compare and despair. More than ever now with COVID, they can see how they're being left out of things because they really can't necessarily be in the small bubble that exists of a few friends. The list of YouTubers that they are following who seem to still have these perfect lives is very intense.
As we return from pandemic hibernation, Dr. Rustin says it's important to appreciate and acknowledge the good that the screens provided during the past year, but also realize there are two types of screen time.
There is productive screen time, which is all about working, how we learn. And then there's consuming screen time. There is watching their shows, scrolling and seeing their feeds. We're playing their video games.
The latter is the part that may be so tough to undo right now.
Social centrality is absolutely the most key thing on their minds.
And another problem is what she calls the need to close the loop, how a lack of immediate communication or response may be interpreted as we slowly venture back out into the world.
It's not going to behoove you in life to have the expectation that you can respond all the time.
Dr. Rustin reiterates studies show kids not only want structure, but do better academically, socially, and emotionally and behaviorally when there's a screen limit at home. And she adds, collaborating with them on the rules helps even further.
I had to get better about not just responding in the minute, not just doing a stab and grab where I would stab my kids with my eyes and grab whatever device they had in their hand.
Undoing what we've done the past year won't be easy, but Dr. Rustin says there's no debating what's best for our teens' mental state as we go forward.
Now more than ever after COVID, we have a unique time to really make sure that we don't just accept screen saturation, but we all work together to make sure that there's screen balance, because the data, Derek, is clear. In-person time with people is associated with emotional well-being. We haven't been able to do that well with COVID, but now going back to school more and more, we want to foster that.
And